Now we make the argument, well, they don't want my business. And back then it was just a lot of not knowing on business's part. And I think that's the thing we saw the most was when somebody said, you need to do this, then most people just kind of fell in line to do it. But before the ADA, and I remember watching the signing and thinking, wow, these are people that are working together for once. You know, it was unanimous, which is still crazy to think nowadays that government could be unanimous on anything. That was really cool to see. And mostly just seeing things come to fruition that a lot of people worked really hard for a lot of years to get done. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the ADA, and it was left fairly broad to start with, so more things could kind of fit into the definition. And then as we realized, and mostly because of costs, the world sort of kind of pushed back a little bit. But the world's better than it definitely would have been. And I think there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of people that just don't know. But I have learned over the years, be your best advocate. Don't be afraid to tell somebody at a local restaurant that, hey, this doesn't work. There's a barrier. Most of the time people go, oh gosh, I didn't even realize that. The ADA gives you the ability to go out into the world and say, this needs to be fixed. And you've got a little bit of law behind that, but you've also got the ability to be out in the first place. Whereas I think for many years, people with significant disabilities especially were hidden. So I think the promise was to bring us out into the open, if you will. And I think that's what the ADA has done well. We're seeing sort of a pushback right now because everything's pro-money. That's where it's a little deficient. I worry that it's going to be watered down or parts of it are going to be taken away. That scares me to death. There's no reason for that. But there's, no reason for a lot of things that are going on right now. I also think that the ADA sometimes stands in the way of itself in that it is the lowest standard and people can take it a lot further. And I think that sometimes it gets in the way because somebody goes, no, this is all the ADA says I have to do. And there are parts of it that could be improved. There are things that are easier to do, cost effective, those kinds of things. And people say, no, I just have to have a grab bar beside the toilet, and states can use the ADA as a minimum instead of using it as a guidebook of where to start.